What drives ordinary men to leave their homes and endure unimaginable hardships to build an empire? The Victorian warriors, the unsung heroes and laborers of the British Empire, lived through the grit, bloodshed, and sheer determination that forged history. Their story is not just one of battles and conquest but of survival, ambition, and a legacy both awe-inspiring and controversial. Behind the grandeur of Britain's imperial dominance lies the untold reality of these men, their struggles, triumphs, and sacrifices. This is the gripping tale of the Victorian warriors who built the British Empire, brick by brick, battlefield by battlefield. The Victorian warriors were the backbone of the British Empire during its expansion in the 19th century. These men, drawn from different backgrounds and corners of the empire, were the soldiers, engineers, and laborers who carried the empire's ambitions on their shoulders. Many of them joined the army out of necessity, seeking a steady income, food, and a sense of purpose. Others were conscripted or coerced, especially those from colonized regions like India, Africa, and the Caribbean. Regardless of how they joined, their journeys were marked by hardship, sacrifice, and unrelenting challenges. Life in the Victorian army was grueling. Soldiers faced long marches across unforgiving terrains, poor rations, and limited medical care. Disease was often deadlier than battle, with illnesses like malaria, dysentery, and cholera claiming thousands of lives. Training was harsh, discipline was strict, and morale often wavered as men grappled with the brutal realities of their service. While tales of glory and adventure motivated many, the reality was often starkly different, filled with danger and suffering. The battles fought by Victorian warriors were some of the bloodiest in history. In India, the Sepoy Rebellion of 1857 saw Indian soldiers rise against their British commanders, leading to violent clashes and brutal reprisals. In Africa, during the Zulu Wars of 1879, British forces suffered devastating losses at battles like Isandlwana, where over 1,300 troops were killed in a single day. In the mountainous terrain of Afghanistan, campaigns against fiercely resistant tribes tested the endurance and tactics of British soldiers. The First Anglo-Afghan War ended in disaster, with only one survivor from a 16,000-strong British force returning from Kabul. Beyond the battlefield, Victorian warriors were also builders and explorers. Engineers constructed railways across India, Africa, and other colonies, transforming transportation and military logistics. This work was perilous, as laborers faced deadly conditions, including accidents, disease, and exhaustion. Explorers ventured into unknown territories, mapping regions and paving the way for colonization. Figures like David Livingstone and Henry Morton Stanley became symbols of exploration, but their journeys highlighted the risks and challenges of expanding the empire's reach. The impact of these efforts on colonized lands was profound and often devastating. Indigenous populations were displaced, exploited, and subjected to harsh labor conditions. Local cultures were suppressed, with British laws, language, and customs imposed upon them. The economic wealth extracted from these lands fueled Britain's industrial growth, but it left many regions impoverished and struggling under colonial rule. For the Victorian warriors themselves, the experience of empire building left lasting scars. Many returned home physically and mentally wounded, haunted by the horrors of war and the moral dilemmas of their actions. While some believed in the mission of spreading civilization, others struggled with the exploitation and suffering they witnessed firsthand. By the end of the Victorian era, the British Empire had become the largest in history, a testament to the labor and sacrifices of these men. However, their legacy is complex, a mixture of monumental achievements and profound human cost. The story of the Victorian warriors is one of ambition, resilience, and survival, but it also serves as a sobering reminder of the price of power and the lasting consequences of imperialism. From the harsh realities of war to the sweeping changes brought by infrastructure and exploration, their journey is a tale of both triumph and tragedy. The Victorian warriors built an empire that shaped the modern world, but their sacrifices often came at a heavy price. Their story is a reminder of the complexities of history, the ambition that drives progress, the resilience of the human spirit, and the moral questions that linger long after the battles are won. As we look back on their legacy, we honor their courage and learn from the triumphs and tragedies of their era. These men remind us that history is not just about empires and maps, it's about the people who built them and the sacrifices that made it all possible.